Hi, my name is Brooke Wilkerson. I'm a PhD student here at the University of Bergen, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of my work, which is on blue-green infrastructure in urban areas, in particular in Oslo, and the challenges to implementing blue-green infrastructure for stormwater management. The city of Oslo has two challenges when it comes to stormwater management. First, there are combined sewer overflows today when there are extreme rain events. And second, thinking about the future, climate change is anticipating to give more extreme rain events in the city, and the city needs to plan for that. So the city has developed ambitious plans for implementing green-blue infrastructure. Most of this will be on private property. On new development will be required to have green-blue infrastructure. And they also have policies to build green-blue infrastructure on existing private properties, such as in people's backyards or gardens. But there are a number of questions about how this green-blue infrastructure can be implemented. First of all, there's a big question with compliance. With this infrastructure spread out over private properties, will people comply in terms of maintaining their infrastructure, or is that something the city will have to really invest time in enforcing? The second question is path dependence. Green infrastructure and gray infrastructure, the traditional pipes, have a very long lifespan. The city of the future is being built today, so also needs to make decisions today about what kind of infrastructure they want to have in the future, even though there's uncertainty in how climate change will affect the city. So in my actual project, I'm looking at a specific neighborhood in Oslo, and my audience is primarily local decision makers, and in particular, people working at the Water and Sewer Authority, although I also hope to reach the academic community with my work. In my model, I have multiple types of blue-green infrastructure. There are many types that you can find, including things such as rain beds, green roofs, and infiltration tiles. And each of these have different costs and benefits and ways in which they manage water. And in addition, I have gray infrastructure, which is your traditional pipes in the ground that you think of with stormwater management. My model will also include varying levels of compliance in scenarios that I'll run for blue-green infrastructure. And it will also include aspects of path dependencies and ways to explore how lock-in and path dependency can affect or constrain the decision-making space going into the future. So here is just a very brief overview of the causal loop diagram of what I'm considering building. This is definitely a flyover of the model at 1,000 feet looking down. So as you'll see over in the right-hand corner, we have both flooding, which is an issue today, and perceived threat of climate change. Both of those things will drive demand for stormwater infrastructure. With demand for stormwater infrastructure, the city can invest in several different ways. They can invest in gray infrastructure, which is your traditional pipes. They can invest in green infrastructure. And again, that includes many different types of green infrastructure. Or they can invest in compliance for green infrastructure. So compliance to increase the effectiveness of green infrastructure. Both green infrastructure and gray infrastructure, as it's built, then reduces the amount of stormwater that needs to be managed, or I should say, increases the amount of stormwater that is correctly managed to reduce the chance of flooding. And that gives you just a brief overview of the work that I'm doing. The central questions to my work are how path dependency and different types of infrastructure can constrain the decision-making space. And I'm also quite interested, as I mentioned, in the role of investing in compliance under different scenario conditions. So with that, I thank you for your time, and I look forward to your questions and comments.